the fuck is up, my britches? If you are new here, hello, my name is Brittany. In today's video, we are going to be doing a collection / declutter on my bronzers, blushes, and highlighters. But these are all the liquid versions. I already did dedicated declutters to bronzers, blushes, and highlighters as well. If you guys want to check that out, it's already up on my channel. But I'm going to dive right into it because we got lots to go through. And the first thing I'm going to start with are my, I guess, compacts is what you can call them. So these are like a mixture of everything. The first one is my Hourglass. This is the new Illume Sheer from Hourglass. They only have this in one shade, and this is the shade Sunset. This shade works very well for myself. However, I feel like if you're a deeper complexion, this will not be a palette for you. I feel like that's pretty obvious. I feel like the highlighter may work. The blush may work for, if I would say, maybe tan, but the bronzer, I think it works for, I think maybe if you're tan, it's hard to say because my skin tone fluctuates throughout the year, but this one, I'm like, okay, it's nice. I do think it's really nice. However, I don't know if I would even say that it's worth the price because I do feel like there's other cream products that are just as good. I see you guys all coming to the live chat. Hi, Kendi, Samantha, and Cat. So this one, I'm like, okay, I like it, but I'm not like shitting my pants over it. I'm still going to keep it, but I wanted this for so long. That's why I ended up picking it up, but I do wish that Hourglass did more shades in this. I think that was such a missed opportunity. So since this is rather new for my collection, I am going to keep this one. But the next little palette I have is from Salt New York. These I feel like are so slept on. I love this whole concept. I love the fact that Salt New York does these like mini travel, what do you want to call these, palettes. I love the fact that they zip, and then I love the fact that they have these cream tint pro. So I actually ended up picking up this in a bundle. So it was like the main reason I bought it was for the palette. Look at my nails. Oh my god. But then I was like, okay, I really want to try these. So I picked up the shade Contour, Rust, Rose, and I believe this is Beige. I love all of these. I think they're so pretty on the skin. Oh my god, just me. Hello from Ireland. That's so cool. I think these are so pretty. My favorites are the blushes and the cream highlighters. These do dry out though. That's I think the only downfall, just because they are in this sort of packaging. But once you work them in, they're really pretty. I love these. I love the shade Rust for a blush, but the contour shade, I would say the contour is my least favorite just because I don't really use it that often. I feel like the shade, it works for my skin, but I think I need a different shade in this, but I love this formula. I think it's so nice. It's just, like you guys just saw as I was working my fingers in it, if you don't use it all the time, I do see that they do dry out, but I love this, especially for, like, if I'm traveling and I want to bring singles. I love this. It's very heavy duty. I don't know why I'm just like knocking it like that's going to tell you anything. I love this though for travel because it makes your shadows feel like they're so well protected. There are bigger sizes of this as well. I do have that in my, I have it in my Alley Glines like travel area. I've got like the Alley Glines travel bags. So I just keep my Salt New York palette in there because that's the palette that I will reach for if I'm traveling. So this one, I do recommend these. I would not pay full price. I would say that I would wait for like a deal on like a bundle or something like that. But I do think that Salt New York is a great brand. I really love that they're also woman owned. And she is also, it's Kiki G, who's the owner of Salt New York. And I just love supporting, women-owned businesses, YouTuber businesses. I think it's really cool to see. So now let's move on to the bronzers / contour bundle because I don't have a ton, but it's like for all these that I have, like I don't foresee myself decluttering a lot because what I have, I do end up really liking. So the first one I have is the Milk Makeup. This is the bronzer stick, matte bronzer in the shade Baked. I love this as a cream bronzer. I like to apply this though. Like, I like to basically, like, rub my brush alongside it. I don't like to apply this to my face and then blend it out. It's a very creamy formula. That's why I really enjoy this one. I love the fact, too, that they do mini sizes because I've had this since Christmas of last year, and I still have product left. If you want a more like warm tone cream bronzer, I think this is a great one. There's another shade in this as well. This is the shade Baked, and I would definitely recommend this for if you're looking for a cream bronzer. And then I also have the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Glow bronzer in the shade Warmth. I haven't reached for this in such a long time. I used to love this though, because I used to love mixing this with, like, if I wanted to deepen up a foundation, because it is a liquid, like, see how liquidy it is? So it's almost like if I have a foundation that's slightly too light, I think this is a great product to mix in with it, just to add a little bit of warmth to it. But I don't find that I use it as much as I used to from when, like, I first got it. When I first got it, I used to use it all the damn time. But I think over time, I've just realized, like, what my preferences are and stuff like that. And I'll actually be talking about, like, my most favorite. But I think this is still a great product, especially since it's a liquid version for that mixing purpose. And then let me wipe these off just because I do want to give you guys swatches for today. I see you guys coming in. Hi, Steven. Hi, Lena. We have Liana, Carrie. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much for being here. Happy Sunday. So this one, I'm going to hang on to this for a little bit longer. I wouldn't be surprised though if I ended up decluttering this within like my next declutter. I don't even know what my next declutter will be, but we shall see. As far as like when I revisit the bronzers, I'm doing declutters every Sunday. The next one I want to talk about, this is actually technically a foundation. This is the Revolution Fast Base Stick Foundation in the shade F13. I think this is a great bronzer for me. This, I think, is a great stepping stone. Like, if you're wanting to try a cream bronzer, I would definitely, like, look into this line because it's super inexpensive. This is a very emollient formula, though. It's very, very creamy. So I feel like I almost need to be careful with this one because I could go overboard with it because it does have coverage as well, which is actually something that I do really like about this. I want to try the Benefit Hoola, but this, I like the fact that it has the coverage because of where I typically get like hyperpigmentation or breakouts. It's usually along my jawline or along like my cheek area. So when I use this, I notice that it does cover it. It's just, Makeup Revolution is not one of my favorite brands. I've talked about that a lot as far as like, I don't like how they blatantly like rip off other brands, but I'm going to hang on to that one for a little bit longer. I haven't reached for it in a minute, but if you're looking for something to kind of dip your toes into like the cream bronzer, you can even do contours. It has a fairly decent shade range in this. So if you're looking to try out, maybe look into it, but there's, I feel like, a lot of other brands that you could also look into as well. I do want to talk about this Smashbox, the step-by-step contour stick. I'm going to declutter this because every time that I use it, I never like the way that it looks. If anything, I think it's just too much for me. And I mean, it's super creamy, but I do have a hard time like blending it, which is super weird. I think the shade is decent. It's a little bit too dark for me as well. So this I would use as a contour. This just overall wasn't my favorite. Maybe I should try it again before I declutter it because I haven't reached for it in a while because I always reach for another one. Maybe I'll keep it because I don't like to do declutters like to get rid of stuff. You know, I like to do declutters for stuff that I just know that I don't like. I feel like this one I haven't used maybe enough. I'm gonna try this one more time. If I don't like it, then I'll declutter it. That's what I'm gonna call it. The next bronzers that I have are from Tower 28. I love these damn bronzers. My personal favorite is the shade West Coast. I actually just got 2 more of these that I'll be featuring in my giveaway coming up, which, guys, I didn't forget. I'm just waiting for the right time, so stay tuned. There will be a giveaway coming. I love this because it has that beautiful luminous finish to it. It's so nice, but I only really reach for these in the summertime. And then the shade Best Coast. This is not ideal for my complexion right now, but in the summer, this just gives me the most beautiful, like, sunburnt look to my face. It's like a sunburnt bronze. It's so, so pretty. I love these. And then just the luminous finish that these have, I think are so pretty. I love these. I'm definitely not getting rid of these. These were sent to me. I did a dedicated video to these when they came out. I love Tower 28. I feel like you guys all know that if you've been watching my channel. I'm a sucker for some Tower 28. And then the last product is, I'm actually going to declutter this. I'm going to declutter it because it's empty. So you'll be seeing this in my next empties. This is the Hollywood Contour Wand from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the best. motherfucking cream contour of all time. I don't care what anybody says. If you don't like it, fight me. It's the best. It's so good. This, it goes on so intense. There should be a little bit left. When you apply it, it looks so crazy. You're like, there's no way that this is going to work. The way that this blends out, if you watch any of my Get Ready With Me's, I'm always, always, always using this. It just gives the most beautiful, natural looking contour. And it's so easy. For how pigmented it is, it's so insanely easy to work with. 10 out of 10. Would highly recommend. This is my number one if I'm recommending anything. These contour wands or the Beauty Light wands from Charlotte Tilbury are the tits. I love these so much. So I'm only taking this out of my collection because you can see right there how it's got like that sheer spot in the middle. Usually this is super intense, so this is just on its last leg. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Kenny says, I heard it's so good. It's so bomb. Oh my God, I love this. So that is going to be everything for my cream contours and bronzers. The only one that I'm considering decluttering is the Smashbox. I'm going to use this one more time, and then that will be the final straw. But other than that, I feel like I love most of these. Like, I use them all the time, but if I were to pick one, it's the Charlotte Tilbury contour one for sure. Let's move on to blushes, which I feel like is probably everybody's favorite. I love me a good cream blush. What'd Steven say? What's Steven running his mouth about today? My friend sent me that, but in a shade too deep for my... Oh, going to give it a try, but I might have to declutter. Try the deeper shade. I think you're lighter than me, Steven, but I still feel like I could use the shade that's deeper. I would still try it. Just use a very small amount, because either way, a very little goes a long way with that product. But it's like, apply it and just blend over it. Let me know how you like it, that deeper shade, because I've actually considered getting that one as well for the summertime. We'll see. Okay, let's go on to blushes. I love me a good cream blush. I get so excited about cream blushes. Let's start with Patrick Ta. I put these in the cream category just because I personally prefer the creams in these little palettes. So these are the... What are these even called? The Double Take Cream and Powder blushes. So I have the shade She's So LA, which I will admit, at first I didn't like that one. I was not a fan at first. And then I also have Do We Know Her? And yes, bitch, we do. I love a coral blush. And this is so nice. First of all, the packaging. The packaging is 10 out of 10 for Patrick Ta. But like I said, I love the fact that he does the powders and the creams in one. Look at all the fingerprints. You guys love that, I know. So with this shade here, I was not a fan at first because I like using this as almost like a blush bronzer, because it's got a lot of warmth to it. So I feel like when I use the shade She's So LA, I don't like to use a bronzer just because it's almost like I get too bronzed. But the shade Do We Know Her? Oh my God. I actually like to use these exactly how Patrick Ta has promoted to use these. See how creamy those are? So nice. He likes to apply the powder first, and then he'll put the cream on the top. And I just think that these give a beautiful, luminous, almost like a wash of color. Oh my God, they're so pretty. I want to own all 4 of them. I think these are so nice. Like some of my favorite blush duos. Ooh, look at, hi! Some of my favorite blush duos in my collection. And I really like the formula because I think it's really easy to work with as well. So these I'm definitely not getting rid of because I love these with my whole life. So I'm going to slide those right over there. And then the next ones, I'll talk about Tower 28 because these have been my shit. Where's my other one? I know I have another one in here hiding somewhere. I have loved the Tower 28 blushes since I have found Tower 28. So I have 2 of the 3. My favorite is Golden Hour. I don't know why I love this so much, but it's the shade. They're so pigmented. I just love how... I feel like when this came out, I had never seen like an orange blush like this. In the summertime, oh my god, it's so pretty. These are very, very pigmented though. It's like when you use these, a very, like, a very little goes a long way. Oh, but the pigmentation and then just like the wet sheen that these give your skin, they are so pretty. But I will remind you, they're very pigmented, so be very careful. I just love the aesthetic of Tower 28. I love their packaging. I think it's super cute. It does look messy as you use it, but these ain't going nowhere. These are some of my favorite in my entire collection. I love both of those. I want to get the Magic Hour. That's the only one that I don't have. It's the best orange and the dew. Yes, they give such a beautiful dewy finish to the skin. If you're looking for a dewy blush, they're where it's at, because they don't give you that like sparkle to your face. Like, they don't give you a highlighted effect. It just makes your face look wet, and I live for it. Let's see. Did I see that Tower 28 show off their blushes as a color corrector? I could totally see that. I feel like Golden Hour would probably be best for that, but I hadn't seen that, but that totally makes sense. I think that would be a great formula because of how hydrating it feels as well. Oh, I'll have to look that up. I really want to try Tower 28, but they are not available in Europe. I believe Tower 28 is available on Credo Beauty and Cult Beauty. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can get them in Europe. I'm pretty sure. Hi from Florida. I love your video. Love if I can show up. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's talk about these Flower Beauty. Oh my God, I don't even know. Blush bombs. I have 4. Where's my other one? Where is my other one? So I have the shades Melon, Bubbly, Bitten, and I believe this is Cinnamon. These are excellent cream blushes at the drugstore. They're hella pigmented. I'll give you guys swatches of all of them. I'm not getting rid of any of these because I think for the price that you pay for these and for the results that you get, so this is Melon. Oh my God, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. I would say this is more like a matte formula when they dry down. So when you first apply them, I think that they do look more of like a luminous finish. I love these though. I think that these don't get nearly the hype that they deserve. I love the shade Bubbly. Like, I don't wear this one by itself. I love this for mixing. Like, if I overdo it with any of the other shades, like I could totally use it now, but that's just not the vibe for me. I don't ever wear shades like that. But if I say use the shade Bitten, because you're going to see how nuts. This shade is so insanely pigmented. So it's like if I apply Bitten, I try not to apply a lot. And it's intense. So I'm like, okay, if I apply that and I'm like, whoa, that's way too much, I'll mix in some Bubbly just to kind of tone it down. So I love having that shade Bubbly just to kind of give me a good balance. You know what I mean? And then the shade Cinnamon. This is my most used out of all of them. I just love a burnt like terracotta sort of vibe. I love just the orangey tones. That's like me in a blush right there. I love it. I think these are so beautiful. I think they're so slept on. I think too, because I do have the Glossier Cloud Paints, I think these are a dupe for those. I think if anything, I would rather buy these opposed to the Glossier. These are the Flower Beauty, the blush bomb, Steven. How dare you step away from the video. So I think when you apply them to the face, like see how right here they look really glossy? On the face, I don't think they look like that. Once you actually blend over the top, I do feel like they have more of a matte finish. I think that these are such a great alternative to the Glossier Cloud Paints. And speaking of those, so we're not getting rid of any of those because I love them. Let's do the Glossier because I have 2 shades of those. These were actually sent to me. I have the shade Storm and Beam. I haven't reached for Beam ever since, I would say, like the video that I did on Glossier. I don't know. I think for the hype that these have, I'm like, okay, I don't really get the hype. I think that they're nice, but I think that the Flower Beauty are just as nice. And I feel like, if anything, I have an easier time controlling the amount of product that I use with the Flower Beauty opposed to the Glossier. But this shade Storm, I love the shade Storm. But Beam for me, I think is another one like Bubbly. I'm going to keep both of these. Beam, I think, would be a shade for me if I'm overdoing it. You know what I mean? If I'm overdoing it, I notice I apply too much. I think Beam would come in clutch to really tone down the look of what I have going on. So I really like both of them. But I think that these are very comparable as far as like formula, effect, shade range. I actually think Glossier has a better shade range than Flower Beauty, but I could be wrong. I wasn't sure what's happening with Flower Beauty because I used to see these at Ulta, and I haven't seen them in a minute. So I'm not sure if they're still available or what the dealio is, but then I've seen them at like Walmart and stuff, so I don't really know. So I think if you've been interested in the cloud paints, Flower Beauty is a great alternative. I'm keeping all of them though. Because I just love my cream blushes. I love them all so much. They are harder to work with. The flower ones are better. I don't think either one's necessarily hard to work with, to be honest. I think it's probably personal preference. I think if anything, Glossier is probably more wearable, quote unquote. I'm going to say that loosely, because I feel like these are more intense shades. Like the Flower Beauty, they're more of like bam in your face. Whereas I feel like the Glossier is going to be like an actual reflection of like an effect that your cheeks would actually give without makeup. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It made sense in my mind when I said it out loud. Let's talk about Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wands. Yes, that's the only two I have. So for blushes, I'm characterizing both of these as blushes. I have the shade Pillow Talk number 2 medium and Pinkgasm. Technically, number 2 Pillow Talk is a highlighter. But this, for my complexion, I use this as a blush, and I think it's phenomenal. I did a dedicated video to both of the Pillow Talk shades. I have number 1 and number 2. Number 1 we'll get to with the highlighters. Pinkgasm, though, this is... I think if I were to pick a favorite cream blush in my collection, this would probably be it. I honestly think so. I love the Tower 28 Golden Hour. But this one, I love this packaging. I didn't think that I would like this, but it's really grown on me over time. I really do love this. I just think these apply so nicely on top of makeup, underneath makeup. They just don't alter anything. Like, say if I get like my whole face done and I'm like, oh shit, I wanted to put on a cream blush to really amp up the look, to give me that like, you know, like a luminous, because these have a luminous finish to them. And they just take my looks to like next level shit. And I could apply them on top of powders, which I love that. You know what I mean? I just think these are so pretty. And then the effect that they have on the skin, they're so flattering. Highly, highly recommend. If you have not tried these Beauty Light Wands, I don't know what you're doing. You need to get your shit together because they're gorgeous. These next ones are from M Cosmetics. These are also sent to me by a subscriber. I love both of these shades. I hate this packaging. Oh my god, M needs to do something so differently about this packaging. I'm just going to do that because I can never get product out. I actually had purchased one of these when they first launched, and I thought that my packaging was defective. So I sent it back, and I'm like, okay, no, it wasn't defective. It's just the packaging is trash, to be quite honest. But the formula on these, like, this is going to give you a dewy look to the skin. So it's almost like a watercolor. Oh, Karen's here. I think these look so nice. This is another one I just love to put on top of everything because it's going to give you that dewy, wet look to the skin. So these are the serum blushes, I think that these are called. I love these. I love the formula. It's just the packaging is trash. I hate the packaging on these. Like, it looks super cute. It looks super bouge. But the packaging just ain't it, sis. It's really not it. I'm going to still keep them because they were sent to me and I cherish them. But I think that these are a great formula. So if you can look past the packaging, I would say that they are really, really beautiful. And then the next one I have, this is technically an illuminator. But the Rare Beauty, this is the liquid luminizer in the shade Captivate. I use this as a blush. After using this, I don't necessarily know if all of these luminizers are created equally. Because I have one of the other shades. Look at that as a blush. I just love like rusty looking blushes. I don't think it gives me quite the same effect as the other illuminator that I'll talk about. You'll see it when I get into my highlighters. It's nice though. It's nice, but I'm like, okay, for how impressed I was with the other shade, and when I use this as a blush, I'm like, okay, it's cute. Like, I could use it. I'll keep it. But it doesn't knock my socks off nearly as much as the illuminator does. You know what I mean? I feel like I definitely prefer to use this as an illuminator versus a cream blush. So I think if you have deeper complexion, this would be one that I would consider. But if you're looking at this for a cream blush, I do think there's other ones. Like, I would probably just go for the Charlotte Tilbury because it kind of gives like similar vibes, except the Rare Beauty is slightly a bit deeper, but it's pretty much the same type of effect. But I think that the Charlotte Tilbury just looks a little bit more flattering. I don't know. It's just like for how pigmented this is, it just doesn't really show up on my cheeks that way. I don't know. It's been really weird, but I haven't honestly reached for it enough either. So I'll keep you guys posted, but either way, I hope you weren't coming here for a massive declutter because I haven't decluttered any yet, and it's all good. The next one is the Milk Makeup. This is the Lip and Cheek Balm. It just says Lip and Cheek. This is the shade Work. I don't reach for this a lot either. I like to do like apply. I just basically like rub my brush over the top and then apply it to my cheeks. It's fine. It's not anything to like lose my shit about. If anything, this is probably like one of my least favorite in my collection. I'm still going to keep it because it is nice. And I think this is like a good like natural everyday sort of a blush for me. But I would not rebuy that. We'll just put it that way. And then I also have the Armani. This is the A blush in the shade 51. This is another one. Like, this had so much potential for me. And this packaging is hot garbage because this, I mean, okay, let me give this the benefit of the doubt. I believe that this is meant to be like a very sheer wash of color. And I don't mind that. But even to get like a wash of color, I feel like I need to go in so many times with this. I would not recommend this at all. I think this is my least favorite. This is definitely my least favorite in my collection. Like, it has so much potential. Like, if this was more pigmented between the packaging and everything, the applicator, this would rank so high if it were more intense. If it was more of what I'm looking for. So if you want something that's more of that like slight wash of color, you may love this. But for me, I'm like, I just want a little bit more and I don't want to work that hard for it. You know what I mean? So this one, I'm like, I'm still going to hang on to it because it was spency. It was like $40. I'm going to still hang on to it. I bought this in New York City too. So I'm like, it's got the sentimental behind it, but I would definitely not buy another one of those. That's how unimpressed I am with that one. And then the next one is Nude Sticks. The Nudies Bloom in the shade Poppy Girl. It's got a little brush. Not necessary whatsoever. I don't ever use that. So this one, I think Jocelyn got a hold of this one because it like smashed against the top. This is beautiful. I love this. Look at that like wet. It looks moist. Okay. This formula is so nice. I've tried other products from Nude Sticks and I love this formula so much more than the other ones because it has such high pigmentation. So it can be a little intimidating, but it's the finish that this has that is so pretty. It's just the perfect coral cream blush. I absolutely love this one. But I feel like there's other products from Nude Sticks that I think are very stiff and very difficult to blend out. This formula is not like that. So this is the Nudies Bloom. I would definitely recommend this. But for me, I'm like, I don't need this little brush. It's just not necessary for me. So I would still recommend this one. You can get this at Ulta. And then these last two, these were also sent to me by a subscriber. I have fallen so hard in love with this Daniel Sandler watercolor liquid cheek color. I got this in like a little gift set. There was 4. There was 2 blushes and 2 highlighters. And I've been talking recently about a new highlighter that I have fallen in love with, and it's from this brand. So these are definitely not my typical vibe, but when you apply these to your fucking face, they look so pretty because they give like that watercolor look to them. But it's even better because it's not super sheer, but it still gives the most natural looking flush. Oh my God, these are so pretty. Like, I was so surprised at these blushes, but especially the highlighters. Oh my God, wait till I show you the highlighters. You're going to lose your minds. At least I lost my mind. So guys, for blushes, I ain't getting rid of a damn one because I love cream blushes. I will say, if you're wanting to expand your collection, I would not go as like haywire as I do with cream blushes, because cream complexion products do technically like expire, you know, faster than powders. But I love them all. I love them, and I'm not getting rid of them. Oh, let's see. Oh, you can unscrew the brush on nude sticks. I keep it there, but I'm like, I just know that I don't use it. So let's move on to the highlighters. And I'm kind of surprised that I have more highlighters than I do blushes. I expected myself to have more blushes. Oh my God. Okay, so the first brand I'll talk about are Dominique Cosmetics. I have all of the skin glosses. Guys, I'm surprised we don't have like a heated debate going on in the live chat right now. Oh my gosh, you guys remember the blush the blush live chat? Oh my gosh, I was dying. Okay, so I have the shade Sunset Glow. I have, what is this? Glossed Peach. Here, let's put these all next to each other so you can see what each shade looks like. I have Golden Dew, and then I have Copper Light. These are highlighters. These are not cream blushes, at least in my opinion. They're not cream bronzers. These are all cream highlights. I will say these are much different than what I expected. My favorites are these three right here. I never reach for the shade here. So let me show you why. Because when I first saw these, I expected these to be so much more pigmented than they actually are. I think Skin Gloss is a great name for them because they have a very balmy texture to them. I was going to do a dedicated video to these, and I don't think that I ever did. But I did recommend these a lot because in the summertime, like, this is totally a product that I love to have in the summer because of the effect that it gives your skin. This is what I would describe as a cream highlighter, like a balm highlighter. I think Gloss Peach and Sunset Glow are my two faves, but I also really love the lightest shade as well. But you see how this looks in the pan? It looks like it would be like a beautiful, like, almost like a pinky sunset on your cheeks with like the most beautiful golden glow. But it's very sheer. Like, this formula is insanely sheer. And then this shade here, I think if you have deeper skin, this would be one that I think would look really great as a highlighter. This is Copper Light. I expected this to be almost like Tower 28 Bronzino bronzers, but it's a very, very sheer base to it. So I think there's a place for these. You know what I mean? Like, I love having these in the summertime. I think that they look so beautiful. They give the most beautiful, like, it's like a mixture of a wet look from the dew, from the gloss, but then you also get the highlight effect as well. So it's got that slight, you know, it's got a slight hint of color, but it's not nearly what I was expecting. You know what I mean? So these, I'm like, I still love them. I'm still going to keep them all, but they're not at all what I was expecting, if that makes sense. So these ones, they're going to hang out in my collection. Would I buy them again? I'd probably buy like one again. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have bought the whole collection. I should have done the dedicated video on them, but I just never got around to it. But either way, I think that they are still really pretty and they still serve a purpose in my collection. This next one, I am going to declutter this because the more that I've used it and the longer that I've had it, this is from Unique. This is the Touch a la Mode Cream Luminizer. I think that the shade on this is really pretty. There's just other formulas that I like so much more. This was one of my favorite products by Unique, but overall, I'm like, it's fine. You know, it's fine, but I don't think that these products are worth the price. Like, I did a video on Unique products, like, way back in the day. I would almost be curious to revisit everything, but honestly, like, everything in my collection, I think I've decluttered. So this one, I'm just like, meh, we're going to just take that one out. How do they sit on textured skin? How do they wear? I think on textured skin, I think you're talking about the Dominique Cosmetics. I like these for summer. That's the only time that I wear these because I think that these give me like boat vibes. So for my texture, I think that they don't accentuate anything. They remind me of actually another highlighter that I have. It's a very unique formula for my collection. I'll just say that. It's like, I think the best way to explain it is it's almost like a highlight gloss or a highlight balm. So I think that on my texture, because I have a lot of texture on my cheekbones, I think it's very flattering on my texture, if that helps. That's a lot of highlighter, for real. You ain't lying. Okay, next one. This is the Too Faced Royal Oil. I just threw this in here because I'm like, I don't know where else to put it. You know, I wouldn't use this on my face, but I'm saving this for summertime. I had it this summer, and I never used it. But this would be like a body highlighter for me, almost like the Sol de Janeiro, how they do the, you know, glow oils. It's just chilling. It's chilling, waiting for me to use. I need to just take it out of my makeup collection and put it in my room so I actually use it. This next one is the Bright Future Radiant Luminizer from Sephora. This is the shade Champagne. I loved this when I first got it. This is one thing that I don't like about the Unique one. It's like when it dries, it does not look good. It looks very unnatural. So this Sephora one, I love the fact that it comes in like that little doe foot applicator, so it's easy to get like a nice precise application. But I like to go over it with a blush, or a brush, not a blush. And it just gives a very subtle, like this would be like an everyday sort of a vibe for somebody like somebody that wants like a really natural looking highlighter. It's nice, but there's other ones in my collection that I prefer far over this one. I'm going to get rid of this one too because I never reach for it. It's very rare that I reach for it, but that was one of my favorites from Sephora for a long time. But if I'm looking at Sephora illuminators, these are the bomb. These are the Sephora Radiant Luminizing Drops. I have 2 shades in these. The packaging on this is hot garbage. It's so cheap, but the products, oh my god. I remember when Luster Lux started talking about these. Yeah, it has like that same sort of like pump packaging as the M Cosmetics, and it just doesn't grab the product. I need to just get rid of these because it just doesn't work. I got these on sale for like $7, but if you were looking for a beautiful radiant illuminator, these were so pretty. So that was the shade Morning Light. I don't even know if they sell these anymore. Does anybody know? Use the royal oil as a bubble bath. That's a vibe. If I took baths, I totally would. I could totally go for a nice hot bath. And that's the shade Ultra Light. I definitely prefer, what is it, Morning Light? If I were to pick between the two, this would be a shade for me. Oh my god, how do I always forget the names? Ultra Light. I would use Ultra Light when I'm a little bit deeper in complexion, but Morning Light I could use all year. I love both of these. I don't want to get rid of them because they're so pretty, but the packaging is what makes me not reach for these. And I also don't think that they sell this anymore. I'm going to take these out of my collection because if they don't sell them, I'm like, if people can't get them, I know that I won't feature them on my channel, you know what I mean? So I'm going to take those out for now. These next ones, let's talk about some Scott Barnes because he came out with these little mini gift sets. I do have one more. These are the Body Bling. They came in like a little mini gift set for holiday. So I was like, okay, I've never tried Body Bling. Let me try this shit. This will be a product I definitely use more in the summertime because I think I would use these on my body opposed to my face. I didn't know what to expect with these because I hear nothing but amazing things. Like I feel like Body Bling is what Scott Barnes is known for. And I actually started using these as basically like a primer, like an illuminating primer. And I actually really like the effect that it has on my skin. I was really glad that I could buy this little gift set just to see like the different shades. So there's original. What's the middle one called? Does this have the name on here? Original is the one in the middle. Then Platinum is the lightest shade. And then Rose Gold is the pinky tone shade. Wow, I don't even know how out of focus I was right there. My personal favorites are Rose Gold, which is this one. Rose Gold and Platinum. Original is a lot deeper than I was expecting, but I think in the summertime, I would reach for that a lot to put like all over my body. So for me, I'm like, I'm glad that I got this little baby gift set, but I don't think that I'll use them really in my makeup routine. I think if anything, I'll use them as like body illuminators in the summertime, or I'll use them as like a radiant primer. You know? That's how I foresee myself, is Body Bling, the JLo Glow stuff. Yeah, this was where I feel like people knew about Body Bling because it was like the JLo Glow, if you will, you know? So I don't know, if it's a product that if you'd reach for, that's right, like this, I would reach for a ton in the summer. For now, I'm like, I don't have a purpose for this right now because it's cold in New York. When I barely have clothes on in the summer, when I'm wearing bathing suits and stuff, I would lather my whole body with this stuff. So this, I'm like, you know, how's the packaging on those? They all chrome. It's not my favorite for some reason. I love the packaging. I love it. I love a chrome moment. That's a preference for me that I like. So those ones I'm going to hang on to for now. We'll see how much I reach for them in the summertime though. The next one is the Marc Jacobs. This is the Do You Dewdrops. Do you guys remember when these first came out? People lost their minds over this. This is still one of my favorite illuminators, and I don't reach for it like at all. I feel like this is like a creamier version of that Sephora Morning Light. It's so pretty though. Oh my gosh. I feel like so many people used to lose their shit about this stuff though. I have had this since it launched, and look at the dent that I've barely made in it. It's crazy. I'm still going to hang on to it because I still do really like it. But keeping with like a creamier texture, I'm going to talk about the Gerard Cosmetics, the BB Plus Illumination. I like using these as like an illuminating primer, if you will. So I have the shade Bridget and Grace. I just actually got Grace in my last, like, oh my god, it was a freaking huge makeup haul. Oh my gosh, it was probably like a month or so ago. I love the shade not Marilyn, it's Bridget. The shade Bridget, I think, is so pretty because it's got the most beautiful, like, baby pink. Oh, it's got like, such a beautiful base to it. And then the shade Grace, I think this is going to be more of like a champagne. I haven't even opened this yet. I don't really love this packaging because it's like you have to squeeze it and pump at the same time. I'm like, okay, let's not get this to be exploding all over the place. I just wish that it had... See? It like... It's hard to tell how it's going to come out. Okay, that didn't end up as bad as I thought. So, this is the shade Grace. It's so pretty. These are so, so pretty. I think these are such a slept-on products from Gerard Cosmetics, but the packaging I don't love because you have to sit there and squeeze it and pump at the same time. It's a little difficult. I don't have the easiest time multitasking like that, but the result is, like, if I were to pick between the two, I'm like, okay, I probably have about 8,000 other ones that look just like Grace, but Bridget, I feel like this is the most beautiful, like, baby pink. Oh, it's so pretty. And again, I love these. Like, you could put them all over your skin. You could put them all over your body. I personally like to use these as, like, an illuminating base underneath my makeup. So I'm going to hang on to both of these because I haven't had Grace for that long, and then Bridget is definitely a go-to for me. Okay, what do I want to talk about next? Let's do some bougie shit. Let's do some Tom Ford. I have not touched this since I got it. Not once, to be quite honest. This is the Skin Illuminator in the shade Fire Lust. I'm not getting rid of it because this was gifted to me. I don't know why. I need to reach for this because this is so pretty. Like, why? Brittany, why don't you use that? Just wondering. Just wondering. This kind of reminds me of the Skin Gloss in Sunset Glow, except just like a totally different type of formula. It's more liquidy opposed to creamy like the Skin Gloss. But as far as like the shade and everything, this looks so, so natural. I think that would be such a beautiful, like, I don't know, because it doesn't have like an insane shift on it. It just gives a really healthy glow look to the skin. I think that's so pretty. I need to reach for that more often. And then I also have the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid in the shade Prosecco Pop. I think I got this in BoxyCharm. I don't reach for this ever. I don't think I've used this once. It's definitely more of like a pigmented highlight. Look how intense that is. Holy shit. I like kind of want to keep it. I'm like, I feel like there's going to be a point where I'm like, ooh, let me reach for that because of how intense it looks. I don't know. I'm like, do I need it? I have a hard time getting rid of highlighters. I'm going to keep it for now because I think it is really pretty. Let's go to the Ilia. This is the Liquid Light Serum Highlighter. I got this as like a, oh my gosh, what were they doing? It was, if you type in a code, if you spend over a certain amount, I'm just trying not to get like a ton to come out right now. There we go. That was more than I wanted, but it's okay. This is the shade Nova. I really did like this for when I first started using it. I got this only a couple months ago. You see, like, they all look the same, don't they? You know, it's like they all start to look the same. But I was not expecting that type of glow from this brand. Like, I feel like when you, like, shear it out, it just gives a really natural looking glow to the skin. I do think, though, when it dries, it doesn't look as flattering as, like, it does right now. I think it does tend to accentuate a slight amount of texture. Oh my God, I can't stop looking at that Tom Ford one, though. I'm like, Brittany, why? Why don't you use that? So the Ilia one, I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to keep using it. I did recommend this in one of my Sephora videos. I would never buy this full size, though, because this, like, why don't brands start selling things in this size, especially for, like, liquid highlighters? Why? This will last me a freaking eternity, you know? I'm going to hang on to it for now because I can and I want to. Does Bridget look similar to Peachgasm? I think Bridget is more, it's more of a baby pink, whereas I feel like, I think Pinkgasm is more of like a true pink. I'll pair them side by side. Where are they? Let me pair them for you real quick because I think that it can seem like they're the same, but they're not at all the same. They're totally different tones of pink. I think if anything, oh God. See why I don't like that packaging? There's the two. It's much more like pastel compared to, I think Pinkgasm, I keep wanting to call it Peachgasm. Pinkgasm has almost like a slight corally hint to it, whereas Bridget does not. What a mess that just was. Let's clean up. Okay. Slight comparison there. Let's see. What do we have next? This one, Physicians Formula. This is the Butter Highlighter. I put this in the creams and liquids because I'm like, I don't really know how to place this. To me, this is like a cream because it's got such a creamy finish to it. Like, look at how pretty that looks. I never reach for this though, but it's like a cream to powder. This is a great product at the drugstore. I need to reach for this more. But I do find this formula to be very tricky to apply. Think like ColourPop Super Shocks, but more difficult. Because I feel like the best way to apply this is your finger. But if you're just like applying it like this, which is I feel like how you have to apply it, it doesn't give the same exact effect like it does like when you swipe it. You know what I mean? I hope I'm making sense. So for this one, I'm like, I need to reach for this more, but I could see this getting decluttered in the future as well. I feel like I said in my last declutter that if I didn't use this, I was going to get rid of it, but I can't bring myself to get rid of my highlighters. I can't get rid of my children, guys. I just can't do it. Okay, this next one, oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys are ready for this. This is the Cover FX, the Glitter Drops in the shade. Does this have a shade on it? Nova. What's with Nova and highlighters? Let's see. Does that stuff smell like the bronzer? I'm trying to think of what the hell oh, the Physicians Formula? Yes. It does have a slight effect to that. Oh, let's see. Hang on, I'm just looking in the chat to see if you guys are asking any questions. Okay, these glitter drops from Cover FX. Oh my God. This is like, I keep this for very specific occasions because this is when I want to glow, bitch. Look at how nuts. Look at how pretty that is. I love this. Astrid, I think it does smell. I think it does smell like the bronzers. It's not as like apparent like when you open it, but when I hold it up to my nose and smell it, I do smell it. But look at the glitter drops. I can't. This I save for like if I'm going out to the club to turn up. That's definitely going on the top of my face. I don't care what anybody says. Hang on. I gotta do something really quick just so you guys are not driven as crazy as I am right now. Or do I have any mods in the chat? Can mods take care of spam Spam comments for me, please. Okay, let's move on to... Let me move the box out of the way. Let's talk about the Tower 28. This is the No Shade, what is it? The Super Dew Shimmer Free Highlighting Balm. I was talking about the Dominique Cosmetics. This is very tricky because it is clear. So when I use other products and then put this on the top of my face, you know what I mean? It tends to pick up those other colors because it's clear, because I'm careless. You can use this as a gloss as well. But this is just a glossy topper to the face. So in the summertime, I always put this on like the tops of my cheekbones, especially if I'm going on like a boat day or something like that. I absolutely love this, but I have to be making sure I'm wearing my hair up or something like that. It's just the most beautiful gloss to the skin. That's the only effect that it gives, is just a glossy topper, if that makes sense. It has no shimmer to it, no nothing. It's just, if you want to look wet, I mean, I don't think you need to buy this. You know what I mean? It's like, if you like a compact and you want to use something as like, how do I want to explain this? You could use it as a gloss. You could use it as like I shouldn't say a gloss. I feel like this better serves as like a lip balm. But I think for the result that you get, you could just use a lip balm of any of any sort. You know what I mean? So I'm like, this is a nice product. I love that I have it. But I don't think I'll run out and buy this again. You know what I mean? So let's move on to my next one. This is the Glossier. This is the Dew Effect Highlighter in the shade Quartz. This gives me the vibes of the Tower 28 Balm, but this has also an illuminator. So you can see there's a balm on the inner part, and then, I mean, what is it called? Like the halo scope. It has the illuminator on the outer ring. So when you apply this, it's going to give you like the best of both worlds. It's going to give you that glossy look to the skin, but then it's also going to give you that radiant like glow to the skin as well. I think this is hyped. The more that I've used it, I really liked it when I first used it. So it's basically like Vaseline. I feel like yes, except not as like intense as Vaseline. So with the Glossier, I'm like, okay, this is nice, but for the amount of times like I like to do this. I like to rub my finger on it, and then this is how I apply it to my face. For the amount of times that I have to go in to get like an effect that I'm looking for, I just think that there's other ones that are better in my collection. I'm still going to keep it, but I'm like, I just don't think it's all that in a bag of chips. The packaging it feels like really chintzy. I don't know. Like the more that I've used Glossier, I'm like, okay, they're nice, but I definitely think that they are slightly overhyped in my opinion, but they're decent. Gotta love the beauty industry. Gotta love some glorified Vaseline. I mean, when I think of Vaseline, I think of very, like, intense, like, really intense hydration. This is not that. It's very, very subtle. It's not heavy. But, yeah, it's like, I don't feel like you would need to buy just this for the same effect, if that makes sense. Okay, let's talk about Charlotte Tilbury Beauty Light Wand in the shade Pillow Talk. One of my favorite liquid highlighters in my entire collection because... do I need to say anything else? It just looks so beautiful. It's got a pinky champagne tone to it. It's like the most slightest hint of pink, but it's so, so pretty. So flattering on my complexion right now. I feel like a lot of different skin tones can use these. I love these so, so much. Top rated in my collection. So nice. And then the Rare Beauty... this is the other one I was talking about. The liquid luminizer in the shade Mesmerize. This is where I'm like, okay, this is definitely the favorite. I talked about the blush earlier if you guys missed it. It gives me a similar vibe to the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, but it just gives me a little bit more, I think. Like, when I actually apply these to the face, I think I get more from Rare Beauty. Like, see how similar those are? I do see a slight difference. Like, I feel like this is almost like a champagne, slight gold, but like a dash of pink. The Mesmerize shade is definitely more pink, but similar effect. But when I apply these to my face, I feel like I get more of an intense shine from the Rare Beauty. Oh, Sky's Beauty, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh, let's see what she said. Hope you're having a good day. Thanks for the live at work board. This is making my night. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being here. So these are like top 2. I would say these are like top 2 of my collection. I think these are both fantastic. But remember how I was talking about Daniel Sandler earlier? These are so beautiful, but they're a very different type of effect. So you have to shake them up because they're very, very liquidy. But guys, the effect that these give the skin, what shade are these? This is the shade Sun Glow. I like putting this all over my cheeks. Like, I don't use these for a precise application of glow. I want this like all over my entire face. Look how pretty that is. Holy shit. But this is the one I use the most. This is Moon Glow. Oh God, I almost dropped it. I have worn this so much. This is probably the most flattering highlighter. These were both sent to me, by the way. This, on my texture, is one of the most flattering formulas. I can't get over, like, this does these truly no justice for how pretty they look on the face. And I put these all over my cheek. I don't put them just on the high points. Oh my gosh, guys. If you have not checked out Daniel Sandler, I'm going to link the gift set that was sent to me down below. These are so, like, I'm like, how does not everybody talk about these? Because they're so insanely beautiful. So, guys, I only get rid of, what, two things out of this entire collection. I know. But I wasn't going into this, like, trying to declutter a bunch of shit. I've spent a lot of my money on this stuff. And if I think that I'm going to use something, like, why would I declutter it? I'm still going to keep it. The one that I'm like, why don't I use this? This one needs to come to mama. Oh my God, you need to do the full face highlighter challenge. Oh my God, what a mess that would be. Oh my God, but this Tom Ford, this I definitely need to use. What is this even called? The Skin Illuminator in the shade Fire Lust. We definitely need to go and try that. So guys, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, don't forget to thumbs up this video, share it with your friends. If you guys love cream blushes, highlighters, bronzers, all the things, don't forget, let me know too. What are your guys' favorites? Cat, that's a whole ass vibe. We're not really here for decluttering. Oh my God, I love that. The blushes from Daniel Sandler look incredible. They're a run, don't wash. Run, don't wash. Oh my God, a run, don't walk. I'll link the little gift set down below. But guys, please like this video. Please share it. If you guys are new, don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.